Hi, let's talk about an old idea. As I'm running for office as a congressman on behalf of Bernie Sanders, I am supporting Sanders even though I haven't gotten an endorsement from him yet, but I think I will. The thing we need to talk about first are issues and very issue-oriented ideas. Let's talk about the universal income. The universal income is a good old-fashioned socialist handout. But that's not true either. It's really not. Many politicians, both conservatives and liberals and leftists, have this notion of a universal income. And why not? We need something to stimulate the economy, something that's really good for us, something that would be really productive and add money into our lives and end poverty once and for all. The basic income, or universal income, is just a handout. But wait a minute. Richard Nixon tried to bring us the universal income a long time ago. What defeated it was that the Senate and the Congress thought that the money that the people would get would be too low. And we never saw it again. That was horrible. But each and every person should get about $32,000 a year. Or they should get the same as a $15 an hour minimum wage. But we have to work on something else, something we're not going to forget too easily, something we have to work for after we get the $15 an hour wage. That's a living wage. A living wage is estimated at being about $21 an hour. In Denmark, basic workers make $21 an hour, free access to education, health care, and maternity leave. We in America are number one at everything. We compare ourselves to Denmark. We're number one in crime, number one in poverty, number one in injustice. It's really sad. I live near a city called Camden, New Jersey. It's not in my district. But Camden, New Jersey is the second poorest country, or second poorest city in the United States. It's sad. It looks a lot like London during the Blitz. It looks like a war-torn city. But now it's not the only one, because we have Detroit, Gary, and many other cities that are joining in on the essential poverty disintegration that the Democrats and Republicans have delivered to us. Well, we have to change that. Because places like Franklin County, Massachusetts, which used to have a lot of industry, is now falling apart. Most of the young people in town are on heroin. It has been proven by sociologists, and there's some experiments that show that a universal income and a living wage would solve most of our social problems in a very succinct manner. Back in London, some homeless people were given money as an experiment. And what they did, rather than drink it away or sleep all day, is some of them got themselves homes, some of them went back to school, some of them got new lives to visit their kids again. Here's another thing. Juliet Schor of Harvard University did a study. A factory had went out of business in the Northwest. And the boss who sold the factory gave all of his employees an equal share in the profits. Each probably got $1 million each. Rather than just sitting back and doing nothing and being lazy, which is all right. If someone wants to be lazy, it's none of the government's business. The government doesn't own people. And people have the liberty to be exactly who they are. I'll play video games all day, knock your socks off. But here's the other thing. Here is the other thing. She discovered that people started helping other people. People created their own jobs. They became part of what we now call the social economy. This happened in the 1990s, predated Lyft.com, where people volunteered their cars to ride people to airports and whatever. We're supposed to make good money at it. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know. A social economy is growing in America. The best thing about a social economy is everybody uses their talents and skills when they have an income to be able to develop their own employment. Let's take a look at it this way. I was part of the social economy at a time. The Zombies needed money to produce their new album called Still Feel the Hunger. I put $25 towards that album. It was finally released, and after 50 years, after the Zombies had gotten together, they originally got together in 1963 in St. Albans in England. They're the oldest band to put their hit record on the Billboard charts. The oldest band. And many bands and many entertainers raise money online to produce videos and TV shows. How many people here have heard of a TV show called The Minister of Chance? It's a good TV show. A lot of ex-Doctor Who actors are involved in making that. It's a wonderful TV show, and it's independently produced, and the people who produce it raise funds online. They ask for money. Well, you're saying, well, people need a sense of purpose. People need jobs. Yes, they do. They certainly do need jobs. Jobs with justice. We need to give people jobs with a sense of purpose rather than meaningless, mind-numbing jobs. What we need to do, and this could come out of the universal income and the social economy, what people need to do is invest in themselves to have some kind of skill so they can do something and contribute to society on their choice and have fulfilling lives rather than minimum wage, meaningless, mind-numbing jobs. We could take a look at varied examples of the social economy. One of the oldest existing ideas of the social economy, and probably a socialist idea since Green Bay was near Milwaukee. Milwaukee had a lot of socialist mayors in the early 20th century. The Green Bay Packers are owned by the city of Milwaukee. They're the only municipal team in football. But the social enterprise opens up even more because private investors and people who could make money on and with the Green Bay Packers were invested in the Green Bay Packers. There's a casino in North Carolina. The town's called Cherokee. The town owns the casino, and the wealth is shared and distributed to everyone in town. That's rather incredible that that kind of social economy exists. Costco, Publix. But there's also people who want to run independently, start their own thing, and that's how we could revive Main Street. A universal income could help with that. Maybe a small business association loan if we beef up the small business association. And we could have a revival on Main Street, not with the traditional jobs, but with the newer jobs where people start their own business and create their own cooperative or collective, or it could go independently. People could be their own entrepreneurs. They could grow from there. The future possibilities are endless. In a debate, I once told a conservative that if I ever got elected to Congress, I would drag America kicking and screaming into the 21st century. And that's absolutely right. We're living on a 20th century model of the economy. We need to change. There's a lot of things we need to do. One of them is the Treasury bond. The Treasury bond has a dividend. That dividend forces inflation. You may have $10, but the Treasury bond worth $10 will eventually have an incremental growth. That incremental growth causes inflation. That's why a loaf of bread, which used to be 30 cents in the old days, is $3 to $4 now. We have to do something about that. We have to get the government to stop counterfeiting its money in behalf of the banks also. And we need to do something about the corruption on Wall Street because it's really taking us down. We have a super top-heavy economy that's really crushing the rest of us. None of the money is flowing to the people. As a democratic socialist, I'm not against capitalism. Capitalism has no social consciousness. capitalism is not a political force. It takes democratic socialism or social democracy to give capitalism the soul it should have. The social consciousness work without exploitation, underpay, hostile work environments. These are the things we should be pursuing. Sad to say, so many people are involved in the race to the bottom. That has to be dealt with. Oh, wait a minute. We just got a phone call. Hello. Hey, it's Bernie Sanders. Thanks for calling. Hey, Bernie. You like that? I'm glad you're thinking about the idea of the universal income for all, Bernie. We're going to rock and roll. You too. Thanks for calling. Bye. That was Bernie Sanders. Me and I'm going to serve in Congress with him, and we're going to change the world. Yes, we are. And as I leave, we do have to change the world. The world has to be a different place. It's like we're sleepwalking through the 20th century, and the 21st century hasn't happened yet. We need to regenerate and transform our country into a more modern country. Other countries are living the American dream. We're constantly compared to Denmark. Not really. Denmark is not compared to us. They are a lot better than we are. Remember when America was number one at everything? When there were possibilities here? When days were just filled with wonder? I remember Kennedy. John Kennedy was a great president. A visionary and insightful man. Robert Kennedy was a real hero too. I'm glad I saw them both. Well, not personally, but I saw them on TV in my lifetime, along with Martin Luther King. You have to check out Where Do We Go From Here speech of Martin Luther King. It's really great. That's what the economic policy should be all about. If he saw that in the 1960s, we should have grew into that. I can't believe I'm as old as I am. And since the Reagan administration, America's been really falling apart. That trickle-down economics didn't work. Supply-side economics doesn't even really exist. No institute on earth recognizes that. There's no governing body at any college or institution that recognizes supply-side economics. It's just not happening. Supply-side economics is a big joke. And that's what the Reagan administration did to us. And ever since then, we've been falling apart financially. Reagan created record deficits. George Bush created record deficits and almost bankrupted, crashed the country. We need to wake up. America needs to become a country of enlightenment, a country of mind. And we have to regenerate America. We have to make America the America that we have dreamed about. It was Langston Hughes who wrote that poem. America, America, America that never was. America that one day will be. And that's why I'm running for Congress and supporting Bernie Sanders for our president. He's the man who will change everything, and I will help. I am so happy to be on the ballot with the Democratic Party and Bernie Sanders running as a Democrat. It was actually a very brilliant move. If he ran out as an alternative party person, he wouldn't have probably gotten on the ballot in all 50 states. That was a smart move for Bernie to run as a Democrat because he could reach everyone. Unfortunately, at this point, the elections aren't going very fair, and the Federal Election Commission is doing absolutely nothing about it. I think Bernie had won states that Hillary actually won, and we don't need any corporate shills in the White House. We have to take on the establishment. We have to win the day. It's people that matter above all else, and America is a country for the people and by the people, not by the corporation for the corporation. National health care, workers' rights, human rights, the basic income for all. Our country could transform. And then Denmark could look at America and say, gosh, we want to be more like America. And that's true. America's a great country. You make it great. You are the revolution. And the sun will come up in America. And folks, thank you very much for attending. It's been great speaking to you, and I hope that you vote for us, both in the primaries and in November. Thank you very much.